Hey y'all, it's Gummmydragon and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I draw dinosaurs and prehistoric animals based in accurate science, but with a touch of whimsy. And today I'll be walking y'all through one of my most recent t-shirt designs of my mascot Rosemary. She's half carnotaurus, half dragon, and in this thumbnailing stage, I'll start with a really small sketch just to get my ideas out of my head and figure out what I want that illustration to actually look like. And I'll usually do a couple of these smaller sketches with the same illustration idea, but the character might be in a different pose or background elements are moved around. And from there, I'll choose one of the thumbnails that I like the best and scale it up really large, and go on top with another layer of sketching just to get these small details down that I really can't do at a small size, like the toes, the hands, the position of the mouth, and other general proportions. You'll see that as I continue this blue sketch layer, I'll start to rotate her a bit, and I'll use the lasso tool to shrink and resize things. I kept moving elements around and shifted her into a more dynamic S kind of curve so that she feels alive, she feels like she's floating through the sky, really interacting with all those stars and clouds that are surrounding her. The clouds were definitely already giving me some trouble, and I kept flipping the drawing back and forth just to check and see if everything was where I wanted it to be. You thought we were done sketching? No, we have another sketch layer that's even more refined and in purple this time, and that's when I start to put in those final details that I will draw directly on top of with the final layer. And no matter how many times I draw dinosaurs, I will always struggle with their toes and feet just because they're so funky looking. They're like little sausages. And these clouds were also giving me a bit of trouble because I didn't want them to be too big and overpowering, but I wanted them to act as a framing device to kind of keep your eye going in a circle. I ended up shortening the star trail as well so that it wasn't stretching too far because it was just a bit too long, but that's what the sketching stage is for. And I finally wrestled those clouds into their final resting places, and I went with my final color block stage where I essentially make a silhouette of the design just to solidify the shape of her. You'll see that I start carving out her details at first, like defining the legs by erasing, which is a good technique that I used for the other shirts, but as I continue to do this illustration, I realized, what if I want her to be on multiple different colors of shirts because she's so colorful? And if I did that in this subtractive erasing method, I'm not sure that her details would show up on multiple different colors, especially pastel colors. And so I just added in some sketchy line work just to make sure she'll be visible on any color that I put her on. You'll see that later. But it does look really satisfying when the drawing is negative and positive shapes. I really wanted to keep it this way, but as a designer, you always have to serve the purpose of the design, and as an illustrator, I just want things to be wonderful and grandiose, so I kind of have to meet my two sides in the middle. Once the silhouette stage was done, I started dropping in some of the main colors that I was going to use. I also wanted to add fake screen tone to kind of create this cool gradient between her pink and purple markings, but that didn't end up working out either. This is when I figured out that I'm not going to be able to see her legs if I erase the lines out, but I wanted to keep the spirit of the original illustration and make the lines not connected so that it felt lively and almost sketchy. I added in her belly markings and her little rosy cheek, which is what I used the screen tone dots for, and I also wanted to keep it for her cloud markings as well, but I realized from far away you wouldn't be able to tell what they were, so I filled those in solid white. I started putting the design on different colors and realized, yeah, definitely there cannot be any erased parts because it'll just get too complicated and the design will start to look a bit too busy, so I colored in all of the erase lines that I did. To finish up, I colored in the stars and the star trailways and added in the white to the clouds and the little twinkling white stars. And I was getting pretty excited because at this point, this is exactly how I wanted it to look and feel, and it's almost done, but I was hyperfixating and completely locked in at like 2 a.m. and I'm pretty sure I finished this illustration all in one sitting. I just love this character so much, and I know so many other people do as well. I don't know why, but this is just like everything that I love, you know, like clouds, dinosaurs, dragons, sparkles, rainbows. So I understand why she's a fan favorite among my supporters and friends. And the only thing left to do was to add lines around the clouds, finish coloring in those stars. And as a final touch, I usually change my line art color from black to a different color, in this case a dark purple. I added my handwritten signature to the bottom and started playing around with the background colors and realized that she looks so good on so many different colors, which is great, but it's going to be hard for me to decide which color to put her on, so comment down below if you like blue, mint, or pink. Here it is, the final illustration. I think she just really captures everything that my artwork is about. I'm already in the process of putting her on as many surfaces as I can because I'm just so in love with it. Thanks so much for watching. If y'all like this drawing video, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to keep up with my art, it's Gummmydragon with 3 M's, and the links will be below. As I said earlier, I'll also be making this on shirts and tote bags, so if you would like to have it in real life, it'll be on my shop soon. Link for that too below. I hope y'all enjoyed. Have a good one.